Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTB Movie Club podcast. My name is Dan Sears. We hope you enjoyed today's movie discussion. Thanks for listening.
Man, I really wish those guys were here.
Yeah, where is everybody?
Where
You
is
know, like
everyone?
I like those guys. I mean, I'm just surprised. I hope everybody's okay. We're here. I hope everybody's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BTB Movie Club. My name is Tim Larson. We're playing a half deck of cards here. We have Brian Larson, Dan Sears, and Matt Smith, and we will be joined by Mike Hilty. We have some MIA guys. Maybe they show up, maybe they don't. Maybe they're hiding under some rubble and can't escape the building in the middle of a war zone. We'll see what we see. So, we're here to discuss the movie The Pianist. That's pronounced Pianist from 2002. This is a Roman Polanski movie. Probably plenty to say about that. But without somebody here to lead this conversation, we'll just jump right into it. And Matt Smith, we will go to you first. Matt, what are your thoughts on the movie The Pianist? That's
All right.
pronounced pianist. Pianist.
Yes. It was I maybe this I don't know. It was fine. Um, I don't know if so there's a couple contributing factors here, I'm sure. I watched it on Tubi, which means it stopped for ads every once in a while. Now, I will
Ah,
say I feel like Tubi does plan their ads pretty well. Like it seemed like it was a natural break in the action. Um, but that took me out of it a little bit. I had to watch it over the past 2 days. I couldn't stay up and watch it yesterday. We had people over, so um, I got it broken up a little bit too. So I'm sure that contributed to it. I think Adrian Brody did a fine job. I know he won Best Actor for it. I can definitely see why. I don't think it was like the greatest performance of all time, but it was really good.
mhm.
Um, I liked the excuse me, sorry. I liked the you know, the setting, not the setting, but like I like how they portrayed the setting. It seemed historically accurate. I know they did their best to do that. The use of color or lack of color, some of that stuff, some of the cinematography when he climbs the wall and the you see the broken buildings and stuff. I thought some of that was really nice, really good. Um, Part of it, and we're talking about obviously a terrible subject matter. I think I'm also a little, I guess, numb to it. I mean, we have so many movies, stories, TV shows, like there's so many things about that era. And I know this is from 2002. I just never saw it at the time. Um, yeah, it's one guy and it's almost all from his perspective except for like one scene, right?
Mhm.
And there's times in this movie where I go, this guy's the luckiest SOB I've ever met.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it's almost funny to say that because he's literally going through the Holocaust and losing family members and whatever. But like, he just falls bass backwards into luck. Like these people just save him or give him things, or he breaks the plates at the apartment and he's about to get caught and he ends up finding this, just the German officer who doesn't shoot him on sight when he's in the building at the end. Like he just, it feels like he just got lucky or had this, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed weird from that perspective. And I know it's a story and I know it's based on a true story. Um, that's great. And I know Roman Polanski kind of inserted his own story in there because he went through the Holocaust with his family. So yeah, it's a fine movie. It's good. I see why it won awards. I can see why people like it. Um, I'm glad it wasn't 3 hours because I don't know if I would have made it 3 hours.
Yeah.
My version, we talked about this in the group text. My version was 2 hours and 24 minutes, and then it had 6 minutes of credits. So, um, I don't know what version you watched, Tim, but
Well,
but
basically anything that's over 2 hours and 10 minutes is 3 hours to me, apparently.
oh, gotcha. So it was just a generalization. Gotcha. Yeah, no, again, I think it's fine. I think it's and it's one of those movies you not that you have to be in the mood to watch a Holocaust movie, because I don't think you ever are, but you do have to be in a certain frame of mind. Like if you're not into it, like it's not going to be good for you, right? Because the subject matter is so depressing, and there's not a whole lot of things to root for, other than live, I guess. It's hard. I'm glad they didn't, obviously, I'm glad they didn't show more of, it's not like it was an Auschwitz movie or something or a concentration camp movie. It was definitely about this guy's life. And like I said, good for him. He made it out. I'm sure there's some PTSD for something like that. He died in 2000. So, I mean, he lived with it a long time. So, um, good
Yeah,
story.
90 years old or something like that.
Yeah.
Is that in the
Yeah.
credits? I think that was in the credits, right?
Yeah. 88 or 90. Yeah. So great story in terms of this guy and movie making wise. I thought it was good. Um, I'm glad I watched it because it's one of those movies that you hear about. I'll probably never watch it again. I feel no attachment to it. I definitely was not 100% invested anyway. But what I did pay attention to, um, I don't think I need to see it again. I think I got the gist of it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, interesting that you talk about the Holocaust a little bit because we've seen, even in this group, we've watched a few movies on this subject matter, right? Jojo
Yeah.
Dancer, Life is Beautiful. And I would say I agree with you. I like both of those better than this one
Hmm.
because there's something else going on in that movie. It's not just about, the really bad stuff going on. Like we all know what happened, except for
Yeah.
people who deny that it happened. Um,
Right.
but like the other movies have some other plot going in that setting. And this movie was just that's the plot,
Yeah.
This is just one dude experiencing the entire thing. And yeah, I think I agree with you. I get it. It's a good movie. Um, and then I also don't think I need to watch this again. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I
Yeah.
said, there's
Good
things to
take.
there's things to appreciate for sure.
Yep.
When he's walking down back and forth down the street every time there's something different, right? Like the first time it's all normal, and then the second time there's a guy laying on the sidewalk, and then the third time there's a dead lady. It's like I can appreciate some of that. Very similar to Life is Beautiful. They did the same thing where it just
Hmm.
kind of morphed into this nice little town turns into this occupied town, right? It's kind of that same idea, and I get it. I understand what you're doing there as a filmmaker. Like, hey, look at how subtle, look how it happened to just
Yeah.
small little details, and yeah, and like I said, maybe I'm numb to it just because we've got so much media on that subject that it's hard to get invested in it. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go over to Dan Sears. Dan, your thoughts on The Pianist? Pianist.
All right. Yeah, it's the first time I saw it. It was
Huh?
pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Um, I knew of the movie, and I had wanted to watch it for a while, but I kind of wasn't prepared for how uh how dehumanizing it was to the cast of characters here. Um,
Certainly
but
not a lot of piano playing for a movie called The Pianist.
no,
There's not a
no,
lot of piano playing going on here, which is unfortunate.
There was
no.
imaginary piano playing.
There was. There was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that they use the piano for his good moments in the movie. When he's playing at the beginning, he's happy that he's playing, and when the German officer, tells him to go and play the piano, he forgets about all his problems, his huge problems. He's all, at death's door here, but he forgets about all that and he plays, and you can tell he really, really loves it. Um, Brody, I thought Brody knocked it out of the park. I thought he was pretty awesome in this role.
Agreed.
He, I know he learned to play the piano for this movie. I don't know that I don't really think that was him, playing for the German officer, because that guy looked like he was really crushing on the piano. Maybe Tim can talk more to that. But uh, what else we got here? I know he lost a lot of weight during this, because you can see at the beginning, he's fairly normal weight wise, but then towards the end, he's really thin and gaunt. And when he's running out at the end with the German coat on, I'm like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Take that coat off.
Yeah.
Oh,
Why are you wearing this coat? Because I'm cold.
yeah.
This is the one comedy line in the whole movie.
Right, right. Yeah, he's obviously not, a German. He looks like he's about ready to die. So, Uh, but yeah, you don't know what's going to happen when that German officer finds him there. You think right away with everything that's happened in the movie, he's going to kill him. But you know, he was nice to him on one degree by not killing him, but then the other, he's kind of like he could see that he was really struggling, but he's like, "Go play the piano for me."
Hmm.
And it's like, this guy's barely standing upright, and you want him to go play the piano for you. But then he was obviously moved by what he played, so he, helped him out a little bit. And but still, even for a little while there, until he came back and gave him the bread, I thought, he still might come back and kill him or tell, some of his troops that he's hiding up there, go get him. But he didn't. And he wanted his favor, reciprocated there at the end when he was the one being held
Yeah,
prisoner.
he played the card. He definitely played that card.
Yep, tried to do it. Um, what else we got here?
I did not, Dan. I didn't think that at any time that guy was going to come back and shoot him. After the first meeting, the biggest thing he did for him was bring him food. That's the best that guy ate since the takeover in the first place. So I
mhm,
thought that that was how that was going to play out. And I'm surprised that he even went out of his way to try and help the guy out. They just weren't there anymore, you know.
right, right. Um, but yeah, I mean, for him, what a tough decision when when the guy pulls him out of the line. He knows that the rest of his family is going to the concentration camps, and he doesn't know what's going to happen to him. And we know now they're likely going to die, but and they pull him out of the line, and he's still alive, but his family's gone. So that's a tough spot in the movie for him. I was a little confused by the two blonde women. I thought they were the same women at first.
Yeah, it was hard to tell them apart. Yep.
Yeah, but I had to read later that the pregnant woman was the Dorita, I think her name was,
Yeah.
and she was one that he went on a date with at the beginning, and the other blonde was somebody different. So that was a little. While I was watching, I was a little confused by that. Um, but yeah, like you guys said, overall, I like the movie. I'm glad I watched it because it won a bunch of awards. But yeah, I probably wouldn't watch it again because it's pretty brutal. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of people dying, and Polanski. I mean, we can touch on the subject here of Polanski. He obviously a great director. I mean, I think he deserved to win the Oscar for this, but he, he's wanted for rape here back in the U.S. And everything I saw about it, the way he talked is he doesn't think he did anything wrong by having sex with a 13-year-old. So
Yeah. Very cringe.
Yeah.
Like beyond
yeah,
cringe. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but there's a lot of people in Hollywood that support him, which is a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
I know Harrison Ford accepted the Oscar for him and then gave it to him later on.
He was the presenter,
Was
so
he? Okay.
he was already out. It's not like
Oh,
he came out of the stands.
Right.
okay.
Okay. But he did
Accepted
take
it.
it to him in
He
Europe
was the
and gave it
presenter.
to him.
Hmm.
Yeah. At some other awards in Europe, gave it to him. But anyway, I guess that's it for now. Back to you, Tim.
Yeah. The one thing that I was going to comment on this, and you kind of touched on it a bit. Um, One thing that was impressed upon me in a way that the other movies didn't is just how the Jews in Poland ended up being treated as a lesser class of people, to the point where they weren't even treated like people. Um, and the one thing this movie does a pretty good job of is when they're talking about. I mean, it's a pretty well-to-do family. It looks like it's a pretty well-to-do family when you start out, and they've got that super nice piano. They got this nice place. Their mom's cooking these big dinners and stuff, and then they find out they have to wear a patch on their arm, and you're only allowed to have this much money. and they're trying to figure out how to hide the money. And then they don't even get to stay in their house. You guys, all of you have to go in this neighborhood, and then they wall them up. Like they they definitely treated them like lesser species, which I mean, I remember hearing about that in school and whatever is, Aryans wanting to just, pure bloodline type stuff. But that's the only time I've ever seen it through a series of events to where they're completely stripped away of their dignity until they're dead. Pretty sad stuff going on there. Yeah, I was somewhere. I thought I was halfway through the movie. I was a good hour in something, and I had paused it, and I had looked, and I thought I saw another hour and a half. So it definitely felt 3 hours to me. So I just assumed it was 3 hours because this is not a page turner. If it's a book, man, this is a slow roll of a movie.
Was there
Brian,
commercials on? There was commercials on
nope,
yours?
I rented it. Nope, I rented
Okay.
it. So I went straight through. So Brian, your thoughts on The Pianist?
I am glad that when I went to rent it, it didn't have a 4.99 purchase version because I
Yeah,
might have bought it
yeah,
for that extra dollar.
and it would just sit on
And
the shelf and
it
collect
would,
dust.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, and we mentioned like Jojo Rabbit and Life is Beautiful. Those movies, they were, yes, a bad subject, but there was entertainment in the movie also, I
Yeah.
guess would be, this had none. This
Right.
made me very uncomfortable for two
Right.
and a half hours. And it's just the idea that, in the world we live in right now is very messed up too, but just to hate somebody for no reason, I don't get that.
Right.
I mean, I'm good with my hatred of people and I cherish it,
Yep.
but there's a reason behind it. This is just, one, it's a different religion. I mean, to me, that's the stupidest thing, you
Right.
know, and most of them, why do you just not wear the armbands, speak with an accent? Juvilski, I don't know, whatever.
Did
You
you just
just,
say Juvilski?
yeah,
Juvilski. That's what she came up.
it's a Buddy Hackett bit. It's a
Oh,
Buddy
okay.
Hackett bit from back in
Okay.
the day. Sorry. Um, anyways,
Those of us
it's
here at the
just
BTB Movie Club don't necessarily. Okay, carry on.
A
don't
lot of them
necessarily
had to
like Buddy
prove to
Hackett.
the Germans that they were not Jewish, or if they were, because they
Had to have
questioned a lot of
papers
people
on
that
them and stuff.
didn't have the
Yeah,
armbands. And
and they're right. But back to the movie part of it, though. There were some things that we kind of talked about that I wanted to jump in, but I figured I'd wait till, like, when the blonde girl comes out on that street and it's just him and her, and like she's walking down the street and he starts following her. I'm like, somebody's gonna jump you for
That's
chasing down
right.
this blonde girl,
That's right.
and like, um,
Yeah, his buddy is like, dude, get back over here. Yeah.
yeah, the playing the piano for the German officer, it's like I'm not gonna stop playing because when I do, you're gonna shoot me. I'm gonna play the
Right.
longest
Right.
song I can come up with.
This is the 10th movement of the aura
Right.
or whatever you call those things.
But it was just one of those. The guy realized he was somebody special when it came to playing the piano and appreciated it, even though he was supposed to hate him because he was Jewish, and he got past that. The um, I did have an issue though, kind of like we said, this guy brought him bread and jelly and gave at the end gave him more food because he knew they were going to be gone for a while. Um, and then when the guy puts out, hey, you're a musician, can you talk to him? And he should move hell and high water to find that German and get him out of do whatever he could for him.
Yeah.
And it seems like, all it did was like, he never found him. Like, can you explain that a little better to me? I wish, that part of you just gave me 2.5 hours, the most depressing shit ever. How about
Mhm.
you give me 10 minutes and make him, even lie, save the German guy, I don't
Yeah.
know. But,
Still, though, like on that subject, he is also a representative of the German army who has completely taken away all of his family. And I mean, yes and no is how I
right.
would react to that.
Did we, and I didn't do any research afterward, did his family just go straight to a concentration camp and all get killed? Because I know they were
That's a good
saying
assumption.
the train, they never send food to that place and stuff. So,
Yeah.
they didn't show any of his family. Oh, there was the picture on the German's desk. They like, when he was signing the paperwork, and there was a picture of him with family.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
And I kept looking this. I almost thought it was like, I don't know. It was just, there was like somebody in the picture that we were supposed to recognize or something. I don't know.
Mm.
It was just, or it was just that he was a family man and a decent guy. I don't
Maybe
know.
they're
But
trying to humanize him.
so,
This is when they were getting the
um,
work visa for the dad.
no,
Is it
this
that
was
No.
scene?
when he was in the office. And so, and Matt, you were saying how lucky he was. He actually picks the building the Germans set their headquarters up in.
Yeah,
So
true.
not so
Yeah.
lucky on that
True.
one.
But I
But
mean,
In
then the
the end,
guy
it turned out
then the
lucky.
guy doesn't kill him though.
right,
Yeah.
right. But no, that German officer, when he was signing paperwork on his desk,
Okay.
there was a picture right there of him, wife, and I'm assuming wife and kids. So, um,
Yeah, I think that was an attempt to make him, look like he wasn't as big an asshole as all the rest
Mhm.
of them.
right. The but again, this very serious subject matter, very serious uh, issue. The In the other movies about it, like they've put it out there in a way where it wasn't just so sad. And I haven't seen Schindler's List myself, so I don't know how that one addresses this. But I I did. I'm not gonna say I enjoyed watching it, but I'm glad I watched it.
Mhm.
I don't think I would watch it again. And it's a very serious subject matter that I haven't done enough research on historically. I do believe it happened. I'm not one of those crazies, um, but I think it's one of those. You know, if you don't learn about history, you're doomed to repeat it. And I don't ever want to see something like that happen again.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I also have not seen Schindler's List, and on the back of this conversation, I have no desire to do so. I heard, I'm I'm sure it's a very good movie, but it's gonna take a while for me to get over this one before I decide to hit play on that one.
It's something you
Yeah.
need to see. It isn't as brutal as this.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Seinfeld made out during it, so
Yeah. That's a that's a good point. You
I
were
did
making out during Schindler's List?
I did read up on the German officer a little bit. I guess he had sent letters to his wife and stuff. Maybe they were trying to convey that's why he was doing things because of his family. But he sent letters to his wife that he didn't like what they were doing, and it's rumored that he might have saved over like 60 people, 60
Hmm.
Jewish people, like just through various acts. So
So you mean
I
as
don't,
an actual historical figure, there was a guy.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's based on this guy Hosenfeld. I think that's what they called him in the movie too.
they did, yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, good stuff.
Oh, and
Um,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
the guy, the Jewish um, police officer. So he
Yeah.
shows up at their house and he tries to recruit them too, and they don't want anything to do with it. And then because and we didn't talk about this yet. I mean, this guy, he's playing piano on Polish radio, so he's got to be a celebrity
Yeah.
of sorts,
Yeah.
And like you said, Tim, I mean, yeah, they had a whole family living together, but it looked like they were not well off, but pretty good,
Yep.
and had a big place, and family all chipped in. They were only allowed to have $2,000. They had 5,000, so they had sitting around cash. But this guy, and that was a big thing with turning on your own kind of situation, and but I think he respected um, Spielman. Would that be a kind of
Good enough.
he
Yeah.
respected him. He
Yeah.
respected the
Pianist.
pianist
The
enough
Pianist.
where he gets the brother out of jail without getting taken. He asked for a bribe, but he's like, I don't have any money.
Yeah.
You got, and he gets his brother out anyways. Then, he grabs him and pulls him out, and basically he's like, "Look, I just saved your life. Get the hell out of here. Don't run, go
Mhm.
away." But how hard would that be? And we watched another movie, Life is Beautiful, where the non-Jewish woman goes to a concentration camp just to try and be close to her family,
Yeah.
and he walks away from everybody. So, not saying he's a bad guy for that at all. I'm just saying the differences in the two movies and the scenes. So it was just, we didn't talk at all yet about, we just kind of hit the big highlights of the heavy points, but this guy was a pretty important person in Poland who
Hmm.
gets back on the radio when everything's said and done. And like you said to him, "What are you going to do when this is over?" And he's like, "Play the piano."
Yeah.
And he was.
Yeah, and I mean it's not like one of those good feeling ending movies, you know. It's just like this poor bastard's just got to fucking live with this, you know. Um, so yeah,
There's
thanks,
no
Brian.
like big triumph at the end. It's like,
Right.
he's just fighting to survive the whole movie.
Well, and you get the feeling like he's the only Jew left alive in Poland. You know, like
Right.
Yeah.
he wasn't, but you get that feeling because so many of them had gone away. So, all right, Hilty, welcome to the show. Made it just in time. We're closing up. We've had comments from Matt and Dan and Brian. Your thoughts, sir, on the movie The Pianist?
Can you all repeat everything that you just said so I could catch up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Matt, go ahead. Okay, good. Dan,
Yep,
that's
I'm
pretty
done.
good. Brian pretty much summarized it as you got here. So there you go.
Um, well,
To be
okay.
fair, my overall, I said it was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, okay. Uh, I'm glad that I'm not the only one who's going to have that same opinion about
We all
this.
did. We all
Yeah, I
did.
Um,
think I think you're
It's a
in
good
good
movie.
company.
It's
Yeah.
worth watching, but the tone of it and the depressing nature of it, it's like I don't know if I need to
well,
watch it again.
given the subject matter
Right.
and just the stakes and the based on a true story-ness of it, yeah, it is a movie that is worth watching maybe once. Like this is like my third time watching it,
Hmm.
and I haven't gotten anything like I have not gotten beyond like I appreciate this movie for what it's doing from like I think the direction is really great. I think Adrian Brody gives an outstanding performance, even though I kind of just think that he's just a bit of a pretentious douchebag in real life, but in in all fairness, he is a very talented actor.
Hmm.
And like between this and The Brutalist and that horseshit Oscars speech that he had this last season, like he's had a wildly up and down career. And even so, like I even find myself kind of struggling with saying that the direction's good, knowing that Roman Polanski is the one
Yeah.
that directed it. And separating art from the man, this is a very well directed movie. He gets the most out of his performances. The I think overall the cinematography and the shot creation is pretty good, I would say. Music is great. It hits you in all of the emotional
Yeah.
spots that you're
It's a good
looking
tone setter. Really good tone
for
setter, the music is.
for a movie about the Holocaust, and maybe not exactly the type of movie that you normally see about the Holocaust because it's like the scene where you think he like if you don't know anything about the history of this guy, which I didn't the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, this is going to show him getting taken to a concentration camp and he's going to try to find a way to be with his family. And then when that doesn't happen, kind of subverts your expectations a little bit and it's like, ooh, okay, this is going to be different, which is good. Like to see these other perspectives and all of these different stories from people in history. So that's definitely good to see. I mean, I like this. this gives off the vibe that it is very much an art house piece. This is a festival darling, and something like this does not exactly always cater to audiences. I think for somebody to say that like this is like a fantastic movie to them, it's like these are people who are looking for like a very specific type of film. And for me, as somebody who one of the things that they're looking for from a movie is messaging and themes. Like this movie is chalked with all kinds of stuff like that. Um, solid plot, all of that. On the flip side as well, I'm looking to be entertained by a movie, and this movie it is a slog to
Yeah.
be entertained by this. So, um, this did fine at the box office as well, and then this was an awards juggernaut because Roman Polanski won for Best Director. He didn't accept the award because he's still in Europe hiding
Right.
from his sex with a
Warrants.
minor charge.
Yeah.
And Adrian Brody won the Best Actor Oscar, which he definitely deserved. But then he did himself no favors by that kiss her around the world with Halle Berry that just almost borderline ruined his career because like that didn't seem consensual, and also it just was very icky to do
Yeah.
even
I,
by 2002.
I don't know anything about that. Can you elaborate a little bit?
So when he got up on, so Halle Berry, who had won the Oscar the year before for Best Actress, it's usually tradition for the Best Actress Oscar winner from the previous year to announce who won the Best Actor award for the following year. So she announces it. Adrian Brody gets on stage and gives her this like massive kiss. Like he dips her and everything like that. And she was very much caught off guard, and she's gone on record saying like I wish she would have made a different choice about that. And like that's gonna go down as like an Oscars moment that's like ooh, but like not as bad as like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock or La La Land getting announced to be best picture for like 15 minutes before it's like oh we made a giant mistake, but it's pretty high up there in terms of yeah, he shouldn't have done that at all because that's one way to respond to that, but and it's not like it was a quick kiss either. It was a kiss on the lips, and it was like for it felt like 10 seconds. It's like, ooh, it's a bit much, buddy. I get it, you're excited, and Halle Berry's Halle Berry, but
Right.
dude,
Right.
no, no. Um,
Did she win for Monsters Ball
It was
the year
she
Monsters
did,
before?
Ball. Yeah.
she did,
Okay.
she did,
So,
and it's kind of interesting because this performance, um, just again carries a long tradition at the Oscars for awarding individuals who are playing people from real life. And
Mm.
this isn't to say that Adrian Brody doesn't like gives a bad performance because that's definitely not the case. This was a incredible performance. Definitely one of the best of this year considering that he was going up against oh, I don't know. He was going up against a couple people. I don't
All the
remember.
people he was going against had previously won a Best Actor
Oh,
award.
Jack Nicholson, Nicolas Cage, Daniel Day-Lewis, and Michael Caine.
oh, so he lost. So he lost against Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York. I'm assuming.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with that, but you know,
I I agree with your not agreeing.
yeah. And then for this to lose Best Picture to Chicago, even I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that. Like Chicago's a great movie, but not exactly best picture quality because I believe it was going up against Gangs of New York. It was going up against Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which That would have been my vote because it's my favorite movie, and it was going up against the piano, it was going up against Chicago as well. So I don't know. Like this, it's solid movie. I get the importance and significance of it. Um, but you take something like for me, like either Life is Beautiful or Schindler's List, both of those hit me a lot harder than this one. And I can't exactly point out why, because they feel very similar in tone. They're telling, harrowing stories. They're both pretty epic in scope. I don't know why I just don't connect to this one more than those and subsequent other movies of similar similar background. So yeah, good pick.
Yeah.
Malo, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. I'll give you my take on it. I agree with just about everything everybody said here, except for just the one piece where you said, Hilty, that it didn't hit you as emotionally as those other two. I definitely got the emotion out of it, but it was just there wasn't anything else to it. Like it was just hammering you over the head for 4 hours of just this is worse and worse and worse and
So
worse.
for
Um,
you mean 4 hours minus the commercials or
it's
6 hours plus
yeah,
the
it was a four
commercials?
and a half hour movie, and so yeah, I mean, I definitely got the emotional impact out of it, and so that's why I think it got the acclaim that it did, but it just doesn't. It's not something I want to revisit. You know,
Mhm.
I don't. My life isn't better because I watched it, but I did get that impact out of it. I think his performance. It's funny you hear about him as an actor. I think when he's wearing a suit and playing the piano and walking all tall with good posture, that seems like his actor, like his actual personality a bit. I think the really good acting is when he's really down and out and like scrounging for food and um just unshaven and a mess. I think that's when he does his the best acting. He jumps out of a window, right? And then he's limping at one point. Just the down and outness of the delivery of that performance, I think, is pretty good. So, yeah, I get it. I get it's a great movie. This is my second time I've watched it, and I'm probably going to put it on the shelf and let it gather dust, as Brian and I discussed earlier. So, let's go through and do this then. Picks to see who may have picked the movie, The Pianist. Matt Smith, who do you believe picked The Pianist?
Uh, I have no idea. Malo.
Malo. Dan, who do you think picked
Yeah,
The Pianist?
I was gonna say, can you say the pianist one more
Pianist.
time?
Pianist. Pianist.
I Tim.
Going with Tim. Brian, who do you think picked the movie The Pianist? Pianist.
So when I first heard the movie that we were
Pianist.
watching, I immediately was like, yeah, okay, so Tim picked a movie.
Yeah.
But then watching it, I'm not quite sure. Um, I'm going to stick with my gut and yeah, just say, Tim, you picked this movie.
All right. And then Hilty, are you sticking with Malo?
Now I'm gonna pivot. I'm gonna go to Dan. I don't know why.
Going to Dan. Gutsy, gutsy. I will also guess Malo. We are missing a couple people here. If the person is here in this Zoom meeting and picked the movie The Pianist, please raise your hand.
Dan!
Ah, Dan Sears.
Sneaky Dan
Sneaky Dan
Sears.
Sears. Damn it. Not on my radar. Nicely
I had
done.
never seen it before, and I was like, we probably should watch this since it won so many awards, and
Uh-huh.
so that was why I picked it.
That's
Hil-
exactly why I thought Dan picked it.
Hilty, congrats. Nice. Last minute pivot. Well played. Okay,
You
so
know,
yeah.
one thing about this, I forgot to bring it up when we were talking about it, but he was kind of well, no, I'm not gonna say dick, but like when he was bitching at the guy for not being there, he's like, "It's been 2 weeks. I'm sorry, I didn't bring you your free food through war toward Poland. That you're staying in this place. I mean, and I get it was kind of like the Underground Railroad back in our time for
Yeah.
it was a set of people who were helping out folks but it was just like, just say thank you.
Yeah.
But didn't she
Although the
say
guy
that
kept
he
showing
was
up.
pocketing some of the
Well, we
money?
find that out later that, yeah, he was not acting appropriately. He was using the guy's name to get money and then keeping the money for himself instead of getting food for him.
Yeah.
So he kind of deserved it. And I think that's a storyteller's trick, right? Let me point it out this way and then we'll find out about it later. But yeah, I kind of agree if I'm in that situation. I mean, when you're starving and you don't have food and you can't go anywhere, you might be a little grumpy. I mean, my
Yeah.
wife, when she's hangry, is not pleasant to be around. And if that were to go on for 2 more weeks, you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. So your thoughts, guys, for the next round that closes out this round of Guess Who Picked the Movie. So we still do have another 8 movies in there. Do you guys want to do another round of keep picking the movies, or do we want to take a break from it and just do a round of dealer's choice?
I would go dealer's choice.
Dealer's
I'd vote
choice,
dealer's
yeah.
choice. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's getting a
Dealer's
little
choice.
older. Yeah, good vote, Brian. Good vote. Okay, well then I have one that Matt had pointed out to me a couple of years ago that was being made, and it's been a little bit under the radar. Some of you guys may not have even heard of it. I, of course, do not refer to Hilty with that. This is a Flanagan pick. He's doing another Stephen King story. This has Tom, I never get his name right, that played um,
Hiddleston.
Hiddleston. Thank you. Tom Hiddleston. This movie
Played
is
Loki.
called Loki is the fucking name
picking-
I was looking for.
So you're picking Life of Chuck. Okay,
Well, I get
cool.
to say it. I get to.
Okay,
You're not
cool.
supposed to do. Damn it!
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I've
start the
heard
whole
this.
thing
I've
over.
heard of this movie. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
I'm starting the whole thing over. You wrecked my whole thing. So the movie is The Life of Chuck. It's just out, I think, last year. I think it's a 2024. I may actually still be in theaters. I think I saw that. But it's a Stephen King novella. It's 60 pages in a book that he put out that had 4 novellas in it called If It Bleeds. I'm going to ask you guys, don't read up on it. Just enjoy this story the way that the Stephen King and the filmmaker intended you to watch it. So, trailers and reading up about it would kind of take away the fun of experiencing the movie. So there you go. The movie is The Life of Chuck. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for this week on The Pianist. We'll see you next week. That'll do it for this episode of the BTB Movie Club podcast. Thank you as always for listening. We know we enjoyed ourselves. We hope you did too. Hey, we are partnered with the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. Please stop by and enjoy some of their excellent material. And have yourselves a good week.